most of you know the story of Alan West, a decorated hero in the military who upon retirement decided to teach school, realized the country was on the wrong track and decided to get involved in politics. This will be his third time here. The first time he was here, we invited him. I frankly hadn't heard of him, being a Washingtonian who doesn't get out much. But he came here and he knocked our socks off. And then he decided he was going to run this time again. And they said, well, you know, that's probably one we're not going to win, the experts. But they hadn't heard Alan West speak. They had not had an opportunity to look into this man's eyes and see the dedication to the mission for which he was volunteering that we all knew those whose votes he was seeking would see. And it was a dedication to which we thought they would almost surely respond. So today, we've chosen Colonel, Congressman, American hero, Alan West of Florida to close this conference. Alan?
Keep standing up and singing. I might not, and clapping, I might not make this 7 o'clock flight. But it really is a great honor to be here. Thank you so much, Chairman Keene. But before I get started, there's a special young man that has come up on this stage with me. His name is Sergeant Jason Albin from Annandale, Virginia. He has served in Iraq with the 2nd Infantry Division during the time period of the surge. He now serves at the 3rd Infantry Regiment, the Old Guard, where he now trains those men and women who guard the tomb of the unknown soldier. So, before I say a word, I want to introduce to you Sergeant Jason Albin.
Because I have a bigger fear for my future than I did of the fear that I had back in Baghdad. And the reason I'm here is because I believe in the Colonel. So thank all of you and God bless America.
Chairman Keene, incoming chairman, Mr. Cardenas, it's awesome to see another South Floridian here. And to each and every one of you out there, what a year it has been. And congratulations, because your hard work and efforts paid off. Thanks to your calls, your walks, and standing on street corners waving flags and signs, we have a GOP House majority. Within that House majority, we have the largest ever conservative conference that they have ever seen. And also, we have 87 new freshmen, a historic achievement that you enabled to happen. And you also closed the gap in the U.S. Senate. You made your voices heard and have reminded Washington, D.C. that this is a representative democracy made up of the consent of the government. You endured the relentless and hostile attacks from the liberal left, such as being called racist. And perhaps they should see who is standing here as your keynote speaker. but the thing was, you stood by your principles. In the face of these horrific politics of character assassination, you said that you would not allow your country to be cast into a perpetual dusk, nor remain silent while the sun set on the ideals of American exceptionalism. And I too had to endure the politics of ugliness because the liberal progressive agenda offers no viable solutions for our republic. Countless name calling, saying that you're a member of an all-white motorcycle gang, being called the worst person in the world 5 or 6 times, and he got fired for it. Having your personal friends, such as a very dear friend of mine, South Florida radio talk show host Joyce Kaufman, attacked. The DCCC has already started running attack ads against me, and I've barely been sworn in about 35 days. The Cook Political Report said I was one of the most vulnerable congressmen, even before I'd been sworn in. And this past week, the Politico put me out as one of the top most vulnerable representatives. Well, I gotta tell you something. Standing here before each and every one of you, I don't feel so vulnerable, do I? But how is it? How is it that we, in this past year, stood against such a vile onslaught? It's very simple. I go to Isaiah, chapter 54, and verse 17, where it states, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment, you shall condemn." This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord. That's where faith comes into being so important. But even more important than your faith, as Mr. King talked about, it's an oath. It's an oath that each and every one of us believe in. It's an oath that I took for the first time on the 31st of July, 1982, as a young second lieutenant back at the University of Tennessee. It's an oath, go Rocky Top. It's an oath that I took again on the 5th of January of 2011. It's an oath that has no statute of limitations. It's an oath that we pledge, such as Sergeant Alvin, that we will lay down our lives for this great constitutional republic. See, last year on this stage, I gave the oath to be a guardian of the conservative principles and values that make America the greatest nation that the world has ever known. But today, as we have gathered here on this day, on this momentous occasion, I believe that we are standing on the verge of the dawn of a new America if we adhere to those fundamental conservative principles and those constitutional ideals. See, conservatism is the interaction between life, society, and governance to promote the advancement of the individual by adhering to the basic constitutional republic principle of liberty. Alexis de Tocqueville said, "While democracy seeks equality in liberty, socialism seeks equality in restraint and servitude." Abraham Lincoln once asked the question, what is conservatism? Is it not the adherence to the old and tried against the new and untried? Well, I would say this, if President Lincoln was standing here today: liberal evolved after our Constitution. It has been tried. It has repeatedly failed all over the world. So why would we think that it could be successful here in our United States of America?